Just you and I?
Right now, it's just you and I, and
Oh,
hopefully
wow.
you join us. But if you have any questions about skin, I want to make sure, and Stacy's joining us now, so I want to make sure I'm addressing all the questions that you may have, as well as giving you some new information maybe you don't know about skin. So any questions before I begin, so I kind of know what you're trying to target?
I was really thinking about facial care the most. Maybe rashes and things that crop up, but mostly, you know, anti-aging ideas and things like that were sort of where my interest lies.
Okay. And that's something very common. And we start thinking about anti-aging as early as our late teens, actually. I've got teenage daughters. My youngest is 19. They're already thinking about their skin care. You know, what do they do to make their face not age? One of the things that we've learned unfortunately, over the decades, and because I'm in my 50s, and over the decades, we've really learned that if we stop putting chemicals, you know, nasty, toxic chemicals on our skin, we'll do a lot better. We've learned that over time. And, you know, a lot of us grew up in what we call the Aquanet generation, where we used to spray our hair with all kinds of chemicals, and we put chemicals on our face, and we used a lot of makeup and a lot of skincare. We didn't realize that those harsh ingredients, the toxic ingredients, were actually aging our skin. And we also didn't have as good a sense of how damaging the sun can be, and how to protect our skin. So now we're kind of in a different time, where we are really learning that we need to take care of our skin to some degree. And most of the care really needs to be avoiding toxic chemicals on our skin. So we want to find solutions, because sometimes we need something for our skin. We want to put things on our face. You know, our skin may get dry at certain times of the year. It may get chapped. We may get rashes and age spots as we get older. And we want to diminish those things, because nobody wants to look older. We feel young inside, right? So we want to look young on the outside. So today we're going to talk a lot about skincare. And Stacy, again, this is a very informal format. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them here. If you're afraid to talk, then just click on the chat button at the bottom of your screen, and you can chat in questions there too, and I'll address them as I take breaks throughout the presentation. Okay, so I have some information I want to share with you. And I got this great little PowerPoint to help me out, and to talk to you about, you know, some skincare. So I'm really excited that you joined me and that you want to learn about natural ways to take care of your skin. One of the things we know about, of course, is essential oils. Essential oils is just a common sense way, and really kind of makes sense, right? To take care of your skin, because essential oils can be so powerful with such small things. And essential oils are not to be confused with other oils. So some of us are thinking, gosh, I don't want to put an oil on my skin. That'll feel terrible, because some people are struggling with oily skin, right? Well, essential oils are not a fatty-based oil. Essential oils do not have that greasy residue on them, because they're essential oils. And these are pure natural chemical compounds that are extracted from plants. So we don't see, you know, they wouldn't clog your pores, they have no vitamins, they have no minerals, they have no nutrients, really. They simply are a chemical reaction in our cells and in our body. So, you know, doing the best we can for our face with the essential oils is going to be great. Smells great as well. And these plant compounds have active healing properties that really work with our chemistry. And all of our chemistry is going to be different. So you're going to find that whereas I may prefer an oil on my face, maybe that's not the oil that you like, because it doesn't work for your face. Because we already know that we all have different faces, right? If you've seen your friends, you know some of you are struggling with oily spots, some of you are struggling with dry spots, some of you are struggling with premature wrinkling. You know, we all struggle with different things. Some have rosacea or something like that, you know, redness of the skin. Everybody has different things going on in their face at any time. And we want to find ways to make that not so visible, because we want to look good. We like to look good, right? So my goal is to give you that information, give you the confidence you need, so that you can use the essential oils and other products that are natural, that are going to help you nourish your skin. So we know about essential oils a lot. People who come to this usually understand a little basic about essential oils. It's kind of how they got here in the first place. But to recap a little bit, they have been used by many cultures over the years. Yeah, Casey, can you unmute you? If you want to talk, go ahead and unmute yourself, because I've muted each of you. So in the past, you know, we've used a lot of essential oils as long ago as 4,500 BC. Egyptians were using oils for cosmetology, for ointments, for incense, for perfume. And the use of the aromatic oils in Chinese culture was first recorded between about 2697 and 2597 BC in the Yellow Emperor's Book of Internal Medicine. So they've been around a really long time. And that's still considered actually a useful classic by practitioners of Eastern medicine even today. Greeks eventually had heard of the healing properties of oils from the Egyptians, and they adopted the use of many tinctures and ointments as well. Myrrh, for example, was carried by soldiers into battle to counter infections. And thousands of years later, humans are still finding uses and benefits of incorporating essential oils into our daily routines. And we've discovered that oftentimes the old ways are better than the new ways, right? So you pick up any drugstore acne medication, you'll likely see some unpronounceable words on the ingredient list. We've all done this, right? Anybody picked up something and tried to read the back of it? That's always fun. So these industrial chemicals can be really harsh on our skin. And it produces the opposite effect of what we're really trying to do. We're trying to baby our wonderful face skin. That's how people see us first, right? They see our face. So we all want to have a wonderful looking face. And two of the most common ingredients you'll want to avoid are going to be parabens. So you'll see them as methylparaben or parabens or propylparabens. Those are the parabens you'll see. And you'll also see sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium lauryl sulfate. And those are things you want to avoid. Now, parabens are found in a lot, I mean, like almost all moisturizers, self-tanning products, a bunch of cosmetics. I've even seen it in laundry products. I mean, it's just everywhere. And unfortunately, it mimics estrogen, which has been linked to breast cancer, skin cancer, and decreased sperm count. Okay? Sodium lauryl sulfate is found in a lot of the body washes, your foundations, face wash, and it's actually been shown to cause or contribute to skin irritation, canker sores. It disrupts the skin's natural oil, and it's believed to be a significant contributor to acne. So those are just several examples of why the drugstore skincare products can be more harmful than the alternative, and why essential oils can be an excellent alternative to all these unpronounceable things that are out there. So not all essential oils are created equal. Essential oils are more popular than ever before in Western culture. You've all seen it, right? We've all seen it out here. The essential oils very popular. You've seen them on TV shows. Everybody refers to them. So it means that like anything that becomes popular, it means that now there are a ton of cheap, ineffective products on the market, and you're going to want to avoid them, obviously. So for true effectiveness, they have to be 100% pure. Otherwise, the only thing they're good for is, a nice scent. The label should say that it's 100% pure oil. And if it doesn't, there's a high chance it's been altered. Another thing to keep in mind that not all oils are beneficial or safe for the skin. So, for example, bergamot oil. It's been found to trigger an allergic response on the skin when exposed to sunlight. And that's like a photosensitive response. We don't really call it allergy, so we'll call it photosensitive. That's like that with a lot of fruit oils. They can react that way. Peppermint oil can be strong and sharp. If you apply it directly to super dry skin, it's going to hurt, and it won't do much for your skin. So you want to, before you go applying oils that we aren't talking about, do a little research. Research the oils that you're putting on your skin. And also remember, if you have sensitive skin, you want to keep in mind that organic oils are often grown alongside weeds and other allergens. So if you're extremely sensitive to grasses and other weeds, be sure to test out a drop on your wrist, look for any reaction, or use a super pure oil like doTERRA. Now we're going to go a little bit back into some of the other things that you're going to want to know about using these oils. And some of this I know is a recap, because some of you guys are old hats at this. You know what carrier oil is, but some of you might not. So I'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So carrier oil is a plant or seed oil that can carry an essential oil in order to make it non-irritating and safe for topical use to put on our skin. And there's lots of oils to choose from. So not every oil is created equally when it comes to how your skin reacts to it, and we're all different. So coconut oil, for example, is fantastic for your body, but I feel this, and I've read it many places, it's a little bit too harsh for our face. And I've discovered this myself, even before I had read and learned about this. I used carrier oil, coconut oil, because that's the one doTERRA has, right? So I use it on my face and everything. And I found that I do not tolerate it well on my face. I use other carrier oils for my face. And so the coconut oil, the best bet, obviously, fractionated coconut oil, which only exists in liquid form, and it has the long chain fatty acids removed from it by hydrolysis and steam distillation. So that way you get a lighter oil that quickly absorbs and it won't clog the pores. So it's good for the face, for people who can tolerate it, definitely good for the body. Another option might be jojoba oil because it doesn't clog your pores. It has properties that are very similar to oils in your skin that your skin naturally produces. So jojoba is a really good choice. It's a little bit more expensive and it doesn't have as much of a shelf life. So you want to keep that in mind. Shea butter's fixed texture is also really good for coating extra dry patches of skin. It's a great carrier for essential oils. And then some of the other things that you maybe want to try. Avocado oil, I find personally, is really good on the face. If you can get a hold of something like a palm kernel oil, that's a really light oil, also really good for the face, I think. And argan oil, although it's very expensive, is an excellent face oil. So figure out what oils work best on your face. That's the best thing. Luckily, I found that the cheaper oils, like coconut oil, work fine on my body. My body doesn't seem to have a problem with it, whereas my face did. So if you want to, if you're not looking to introduce any new moisturizers into your routine, you can also add your a few drops of the essential oils to the lotions and creams that you already have, right? So if you don't want to go buying some more carrier oils, then you can go ahead and add it to things that you have. Now, when mixing your oils with carrier oils, start modestly. You only want a few drops per ounce when you're adding it to your skincare routine, and then you can work up from there. So you don't want to overreact to something because you just have too much essential oil that your body is not used to. So let's talk about some of the oils that we're going to use. So we're going to figure out what oils can we use for our face. So some of the oils we like on our face, lavender oil. So you may have lavender oil. That's usually one of the first oils that people buy, right? So you may have some just sitting around in your medicine cabinet because, we know it smells good. It's relaxing. We love it. It's great to relieve skin irritation. So whether it's a bug bite, ingrown hairs, sunburn, hives, lavender oil will work to fight that inflammation. It's really gentle, so you can use it directly on your skin. Although when you apply it, usually you want to put it in just a little bit of carrier oil, and that's mostly to suspend it on your skin so you don't waste oil, so it doesn't just flash off into the air, because that's what happens to oils. It's very volatile. So heat and air will activate it, and a lot of it will get dispersed into the air and not in your body. And so if you're trying to get it in your body, then you want to go ahead and use a little bit of carrier oil. Ideally, you want to apply it with a cotton swab or clean fingertip. You always want to apply your oils clean if you can. And also, lavender oil can be used to soothe and fight blemishes. And it's also really good for scarring. So if you have some residual scarring, maybe you have had acne in the past and you have some scarring, lavender would be a good oil. And then I know off the top of my head, another really good oil for scarring is helichrysum. But it's an expensive oil. So you want to use it very carefully and just in spots where you really want to reduce scarring. Because lavender is antibacterial and it's moisturizing, it's great for kind of refreshing, healing, and controlling the excess oil production. So if you're one of those people who gets excess oil in spots on your face, lavender oil, great choice. So that is our lavender oil. Now, geranium oil is an interesting oil because it has this nice strong history. This was used by the Egyptians for promoting beautiful and radiant skin. Because remember, people see your face first, and what you want them to see is you want to see a bright face. You want to see that, have them see that you have good skin because that shows the health of you. You look healthy, you look vibrant, you look younger. We all want that, right? So geranium had been used by the Egyptians to help with blemishes, to reduce inflammation, and even to help reduce the appearance of wrinkles. So it's used in many products in the dermatological world, of course, because of its ability to tighten that facial skin and slow the effect of aging. Like, we can't stop aging. If we could, we'd be very wealthy, because if we could figure out what could stop aging, that'd be awesome. But we can slow it down by giving our body what it needs, by giving our skin what it needs to slow down the aging process, slow down the cellular process behind aging. And we can do that with essential oils, which is a wonderful way to do it because it's easy. We get these little bottles. It's really easy to use these little bottles. That's one of the things I like best, I think, about essential oils. Now, geranium oil is antibacterial and antifungal, which really helps it to protect the body from infection, warding against fungus, like maybe athlete's foot or something like that, to prevent it. You can use it to treat wounds. You can add a few drops to carrier oil, like maybe coconut oil, and apply it a couple times or 3 times a day until healed. To fight, if you get something like, how can I say this compliantly? I have to be careful how I talk. So if you're trying to fight any kind of fungal growth on your feet, add a few drops to a foot bath with sea salt. This would be geranium. And I personally would add a little bit of lavender to it. So together, this is a very great combo for keeping skin eruptions and problems under control. Remember, it's really, really potent. And one of the things to remember when you're using essential oils, and this is probably something people think they're really expensive, they're not. And the reason why is whenever you use an essential oil, basically you want 1 drop of the essential oil to get into your body. And that's because 1 drop will service every cell in the human body, and it metabolizes in a couple hours. So it's 1 drop, but more often. So maybe every couple hours if you're trying to get rid of something actively, right? So you can use a drop every couple hours. And these bottles that you see that most people have, these 15 milliliter bottles, that has about 270 drops in it. That's a lot of drops. So it will really last you a long time, as long as you're using it correctly. Now, what we see people do all the time is they take these essential oils, and you can see them, they're just drop, drop, drop. Like, what are you doing? You really only need 1. So less more often is a way you want to use your oils if you want to save money, because we do want to be frugal when we're using these, right? So let's go on to another really great oil. We have tea tree oil. Also, you've heard it in the past, probably called Melaleuca. And tea tree oil is definitely a must-have. I mean, you've got to have this one in your cabinet. It belongs in your medicine cabinet. It has the ability to, let's say, it's just magic for blemishes, for blackheads, for skin that's producing too much sebum. And the great part about tea tree is that it's a natural astringent. So it won't dry out your skin like the chemicals in like drugstore products that use for blemishes, right? And as an added benefit, tea tree is antifungal, and it's a mild antiseptic. So if you need to clean a wound or sanitize something, you can add, a couple drops of tea tree oil to your cotton swab. You can use it for hair issues, like if you have dandruff, you can use that to try to get rid of the dandruff. Add a few drops of that. People have used it in the past, and I have personally used it myself very effectively for head lice. So I thought that was really awesome because it does have a good amount of bug killing ability. I also used it for rat mites to kill the mites and the eggs. So it worked really, really well. So I've experienced that firsthand. So you can add it to a carrier oil, massage it into feet for a foot bath for any of your feet issues, especially fungal issues, or even just really bad smelling feet. If you get people that just chronically have these really awful smelling feet, get them to take some essential oil, a little bit of carrier oil, and rub that around, because the smell that you're getting is bacterial usually. You get that bacteria, it smells really bad. So you can get them to do a foot rub on their feet, and that will help a lot. Other fungal infections also really good for, ringworm is one where you can apply it directly to the skin. You can dilute with water or carrier oil if you've got sensitive skin. And tea tree might be a little bit strong for a lot of skin types, so make sure that you are using a carrier oil with it. And you can also use it with lavender oil if you want to have less tea tree, and mix it with lavender oil. Make a little bit gentler solution to stimulate and soothe your skin at the same time. So the tea tree will increase the blood flow, reduce the inflammation, while the lavender will kind of dial back the irritation. So it's a really good mixture for like sunburn, ingrown hairs, and even shaving irritation. I have used tea tree and lavender for sunburn. Phenomenal. Before then, my go-to was calendula oil. And this combined with calendula oil, I found was the best way when I got a really bad sunburn to keep it from, to get it better fast, to keep it from hurting, which that was the main thing, and then also to keep it from peeling, because if you get a sunburn, I'd at least like to have a nice tan when I'm done. I want some reward for that terrible sunburn. So you can use these oils to get that kind of result. Now I'm going to talk about a really fancy oil, very, very expensive if you get the actual true rose oil. And the reason people always ask me, why is it so expensive? And I can tell you just from what I know about doTERRA, when you get rose oil, they come from the petals. So there's not a whole lot of oil there because it gets rubbed off by like everything that touches the petal, right? Because it's on the external part of the petal. It takes an amazing amount, I don't remember what it was, but it takes an amazing amount of rose oil to make 1 bottle of oil. And it has to be steam distilled, or sorry, not steam distilled, it's absolute, it's created with an absolute but it has to be done very quickly after picking. You can't pick rose petals. You've seen how fast rose petals dry, right? You can't just pick rose petals and have them sit around for a while and then extract the oil from them. It has to be done very quickly. So it's a very time-consuming and delicate process to get this rose oil. So if you ever see a rose oil and it's less than about $200 for a 5 milliliter bottle, then it's probably not a pure rose oil. You're going to pay a lot of money if you want a good quality pure rose oil. So rose oil has been very popular as a skin treatment in Europe, and it's used to moisturize, to soothe the skin. It can be used on all skin types and it's great for sensitive skin, but a little goes a long way. And when I say a little, I have to tell you, when I went to doTERRA's convention and they gave us each 1 drop of rose oil, because this stuff is super expensive, right? We're talking like $4 or $5 a drop. So everybody got to try a drop of rose oil. When I smelled it all around me, it was too strong. I actually got a headache. It was just too much. And then having used it here, I've realized I really only need about 1/4 of a drop. So I'm diluting it a lot when I use it. And I made a face spray. So a good face spray, like queens used to do this. They used to take rose oil and put it in water and make a spray for their face. So that's a great way to do it. Put it with filtered water, distilled water, and you can spritz it on your face throughout the day. And the scent of rose oil is very emotionally uplifting. But if you're exposed to too much of it, it can be very overwhelming. So be very careful with rose oil. 1, to save money, and 2, because you don't want to overdo it, expose yourself to too much of it because it's not very comfortable. Another popular skin oil is frankincense oil. We see this in almost anything we talk about. Why? Because frankincense is the king of oils. It does everything. So you're going to see it in a lot of presentations that we do of talking about different problems that we have, different things we're trying to solve. Frankincense will almost always show up because it does so many things. And this is no exception. Frankincense is perfect for combination skin, for oily skin, for dry skin. It's extremely versatile. It's been known to do wonders for treating dark spots and healing wounds. So when you use it for dark spots, and this is something I did myself, and when I used it for dark spots, I noticed it took about a month or so, and then the dark spots got visibly lighter. But if I stopped using it, like I stopped using it for a month, and the dark spots came back. So it is only a temporary solution. There's no way to completely remove dark spots just because of what they are. They don't disappear, but you can lighten them using essential oils. And frankincense is one of the ones you definitely want to use. I would suggest using it with at least a small amount of carrier oil, again, just to hold it onto the skin. And also frankincense is a little bit strong in certain areas of the body. Like when I put it right around my crow's feet, it actually burned a little bit because it was when I did it without a carrier oil, because that is apparently a very sensitive area of the skin. So keep that in mind. In ancient times, they used it to treat infections, irritation, and redness. It's anti-inflammatory, it's astringent, and we think that that's why baby Jesus was given frankincense oil, because back then it would have been terribly important to protect this newborn baby, for him to have these kinds of tools so that he wouldn't get ill and so that he could thrive as an infant, because back then, of course, the infant mortality rate is really high, and we need to save baby Jesus so that he could grow up, right? Another oil that I briefly talked about earlier is helichrysum. So helichrysum is our number one oil for scarring. So if you have scars, like a lot of us get that scar after we give birth, right? You may have some scarring from giving birth. Really good for stimulating cell growth. It is just chock full of antimicrobial, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory benefits that are absolutely wonderful for treating blemishes. It has been used for thousands of years in like Italy and Spain and Turkey for medicinal purposes and for healing all kinds of skin issues, hives, redness, blemishes, shaving irritation, all those. So make sure that when you get helichrysum, so this is where I love being a doTERRA member, because I save about 60-something% off my oils. First when you start, you save 25%, but if you're a Loyalty Rewards member, you get all kinds of extra discounts. And so I save over 60%, and I can save up to get free oils with all my credits I earned from buying stuff, right? So helichrysum was one I saved up credits for, because this is a really expensive oil. I believe we pay like $70 wholesale for a 5 milliliter bottle, because this is a super expensive oil. So it's hard to just shell out that kind of cash. But when I saved up my credits from earning, you know, I get all these rewards and credits from doTERRA. When I buy my regular stuff, like when I buy my laundry detergent, my shampoo, and all the other stuff I use with doTERRA, I was able to save up to get my helichrysum for free. So that was really nice, because otherwise it's just really hard. It's a very small bottle and it's really expensive. So I suggest that you get yours that way if you want it, because otherwise it's kind of hard when I get out a drop of this oil. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. Now lemongrass is an interesting oil. I use it for a lot of different things. I know that it has medicinal benefits that I've used it for. If you do some research on lemongrass oil, you can see some of the different things that you can also use it for that I'm not allowed to talk about here. But this is a very stimulating oil. It acts as an astringent, it reduces inflammation like most of the oils do, and it's also great for balancing oil production. It's filled with antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial properties. It's a little bit harsher than some of the other oils on your skin. So when you use it, definitely make sure you dilute this oil. Always use this in a carrier oil or you could have a problem. I did this. I used it for, my doctor told me to use it for tennis elbow, and I did that. And I got little bumps on my elbow from it. And that was because I didn't use it in a carrier oil. And so now I know to use it in a carrier oil. I'm also taking it internally because I did some research and found out it was good for some other conditions. And for my husband's condition, he's also using lemongrass oil internally. I was kind of pleased to see that although it's a very strong oil, I can take it directly in my mouth as long as I chase it with water right away. So I didn't have to worry about getting out veggie caps and making pills with it, because I was able to take it directly. So you can try that too. You can use this in your facial mist or a toner to control excess oil and sebum. And one of the other things I like about lemongrass, and probably why I like it on my face as well, is because it stimulates circulation. And for all healing to occur in the body, circulation is our friend. This is what we want. We want excellent circulation because that's what's going to help our body to heal. This is going to help cell turnover. This is going to help things kind of move within the body. So you always want excellent circulation, and that's one of the things that lemongrass is notorious for. Another oil I want to talk about briefly is myrrh oil. So we all have heard of myrrh oil, also in the Bible, right? Historically, it was used to treat wounds. It was used to prevent infection, much like frankincense. People do still use it today for fungal types of infections, for ringworm, for blemishes. And lab studies have shown that myrrh can even hold its own against some various types of, I have to say this compliantly, various types of infections. And it just seems that its antibacterial properties can be amplified when used along with frankincense. So frankincense and myrrh we see together a lot. These are two oils, and it makes sense. This is where they were in the Bible too. They were together because together they work to help treating cuts, scrapes, chapped, cracked patches of skin. So it makes sense to add myrrh to any kind of beauty regimen or skin regimen. And then for those of you who maybe have heard of chamomile tea, there's also a chamomile oil. So much like you drink chamomile tea to relax, you can use chamomile oil to calm and soothe your skin within seconds. It has incredible anti-inflammatory properties that make it ideal for people living with skin redness. It's extremely gentle, which makes the oil safe to use on both infants and very elderly people. So chamomile is a really, really good oil. You know, one of the things we face as we get older is our skin thins. And we need to use something to help our skin stay thick enough to keep the other layers of skin underneath, because you don't want that thin skin, because then what happens, right? You get cuts and scrapes, and it's hard for them to heal because you have such thin skin. So you can use oils to prevent that process, to slow down that process, and it's eventually going to happen. But we definitely want to slow down the process. Another good skin oil is going to be our oregano. And oregano oil is very, very powerful. It's what we call a hot oil. It's a potent antiseptic. It's an antifungal. It's used to treat and soothe foot funguses and other skin disorders. And it does kill a wide range of organisms, yeast, bacteria. It can be used to provide soothing relief to burns, bites, and stings. You can apply it directly, or you can mix it with a little coconut oil and apply. That's what it says. I personally would not put oregano on directly. I have put it directly in my mouth, and that was the biggest mistake I probably ever made with oils. So I would not recommend do that. I would definitely say use a carrier oil when you use oregano. Other research I've done on oregano showed me that oregano is really good for killing mold in the house. So if you use it for cleaning, it will kill the mold spores, and then you can wash away the resulting mycotoxins that happen after you kill mold spores. Works so much better than bleach, because with bleach, I don't think you kill the spores because it comes back like a week or two later. But with oregano oil, you can get rid of it for months on end because it actually kills the spores. So I suggest you using it for that. When I used it that way, I used it in a bottle of water. I put it in a spray bottle of water with 30 drops of oregano, 8 ounces of water, and I used that to spray areas that tend to get mold. Like there's an area of my shower just always wants to get mold in the same spot. And when I did it with the oregano oil instead of the bleach, instead of coming back in 2 weeks, it actually took 5 months before I saw it again. So that was amazing, because I don't know how many times I did it with bleach. It just, you hate it when you do something, you just feel like you're doing it over and over and over again. And she keeps coming back, and I kept yelling at it, like, why do you keep coming back? Go away, because these are organisms, right? I'm just telling him to get out of my house. Some other oils that you can use, rose hip seed oil. Now doTERRA does not have rose hip seed oil directly alone. It is part of some of the beauty care products because the rose hip oil is extracted from the seeds of the rose plant. So that's from the seeds rather than petals. And it does wonderful things for firming the skin, tightening the complexion, fading dark spots, scars. It's a heavy oil, which is really good for use when the skin is extremely dry. And remember, as a seed oil, it is what we would more call a carrier oil. And some of you guys probably remember rosehip oil. I grew up with it. So it's been around for a very, very long time. And we did use it even when I was a child. The rosehip oil has been around a long time and used a lot in the past. Lang Ylang, another one you've probably heard, again, really good for balancing that excess oil production. It's really best for combination skin. It has some antiseptic properties as well. It's really good for blemishes, small wounds. It regulates sebum. So sebum is what your face produces. A lot of times is that sebum. And when you produce too much sebum, that's when you break out. So you want to regulate that sebum. So you can add a few drops to your facial moisturizer, or you can make your own like DIY facial toner by just mixing a few drops with maybe some rose water and misting it onto your clean, dry face, right? Another oil is clary sage oil. So clary sage oil is, again, another anti-inflammatory like many of the oils. It will zap blemishes without interrupting your skin's natural oil production, so that keeps your skin looking and feeling healthy. You can add a few drops to some aloe vera, if you can get aloe vera gel right now. And you can use with filtered water to make a toner, like a refreshing toner that will work to wake up your skin cells and strengthen your skin. For your face, add clary sage to maybe some freshly made coconut oil to hydrate and cleanse without clogging your pores. And then I think the last one, again, not an oil that we have separately, a couple more, is the carrot seed oil. So we don't have it separately, but you'll see it in a lot of beauty care products, and definitely a lot of products that doTERRA has as a natural oil, carrier oil. And it's really good for dry, chapped, and cracked skin. So things that have carrot seed oil, because the carrot seed oil itself is full of vitamin E and vitamin C, which we know is absolutely wonderful for our face. And I don't know, in my youth, so you guys who are older, remember, what did we do? We used vitamin E on our face all the time. If I had a problem, my mom gave me vitamin E, and we took vitamin C. We ate it like, whenever we had any kind of issue, we knew that vitamin C was what we needed to use. So we grew up with it. Carrot seed oil is both moisturizing, nourishing, rejuvenating. It stimulates the growth of new cells and tissues. So regular use of the products using this oil can help protect against wrinkling and make the skin look youthful and bright. It's also been found to protect against infection because it's got antiseptic properties and an ability to detoxify. Really popular in Europe, where the plant is actually known as Queen Anne's lace. So you've probably heard of that before. Anybody heard of Queen Anne's lace? I've actually heard of that before, and now I know it is the same as carrot seed oil. So Queen Anne's lace definitely sounds nicer, and I bet when you call it Queen Anne's lace, you can sell it for more, but it's actually just carrot seed oil. Then we have yarrow. So I want to talk quite a bit about yarrow because yarrow is my new fave. I've been using it. I love it. I love the way it feels on my skin. It's got a lot of great research behind it. It is one of the world's most powerful natural astringents. It can tighten the skin, promoting skin healing. And it's most helpful for those who suffer from oily skin, blemishes, and scarring, as it controls that sebum production. It's anti-inflammatory by nature. It's really great for treating redness and swelling and other skin eruptions on your face and on your body. And I want to talk a little bit more about yarrow. I did some extra research because yarrow is one of the new ones that came on the scene with doTERRA. And doTERRA created this product, a couple products. So they came out with this body serum. This is used on your body in this big bottle here. And they also came out with the Yarrow Palm face serum. So these are two products that I use the most. They also have a pill that you can take to help with these. I don't use the vitamin. I use these two products on myself. One on my body, one on my face. And I love it because it is, you know, our skin is exposed to challenges every day. In your house, when you walk outside, your skin is assaulted by toxins, by chemicals, by air, by dryness, by impurities in the air. And if you ever, you know, look out your window in the morning, you'll probably see little pieces of fuzz and just floating around your room. And all that stuff affects our bodies and our skin. Those are going to carry molecules that may be, you know, toxic to us. And so we have to fight those challenges. And we have this wonderful thing called skin, which protects our insides from all this stuff as much as it can. Yarrow Palm is like our powerhouse to protect our skin. So when you're putting on an oil like this, this is, when it's a Yarrow Palm, I mean, it's yarrow mixed with pomegranate seed oil. So pomegranate is your carrier oil. The yarrow is then added to that to make this combination. Yarrow is an essential oil. So you can take this oil, this Yarrow Palm, you can take it internally, or you can put on your skin using the convenient dropper that comes with it if you like. I don't use the dropper. I'm a little bit more patient. So just to show you what this looks like, I use this often. I just, wait, it just takes a couple of minutes here, right there, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 drops. I just drop it onto my hand, and then I take this. It's actually blue when it first comes out of the bottle, and then I'll just rub it on my face. Now, it will not turn my face blue because it is coming out blue, but it's getting absorbed very quickly, the yarrow part of it, which is the blue part, and I put it into my skin. And these are my, what I call my problem areas, because I'm 56 years old, and so I'm starting to get that, you know, that stuff around here where you start getting wrinkling, you start sagging. So I take the Yarrow Palm and I rub upwards, rub in the direction that makes sense, right? That would be up, because we're fighting gravity all the time. And I put it on my face. And I do that fairly often. I just started doing it more often. I used to do it just at night, but now I'm doing it morning, night, and then sometimes during the day if I remember. And then I usually take my hands and with the extra on my shoulders. My shoulders tend to get dry really easily out here in this climate. Throughout history, yarrow has been a very popular oil throughout history for beauty. And when we combine it with a pomegranate seed oil, we've done that to kind of intensify the benefits of just the yarrow. So you've heard of yarrow probably in the past. People use yarrow. And combining it with pomegranate seed oil has increased the effectiveness of the yarrow oil itself. And you can use it with, like I said, the capsules. They also have capsules. If you really want to do a full beauty routine, you can add the capsules to your repertoire of things that you use. But like I said, I use the body serum and the Yarrow Palm. So it's interesting that it was blue, and I don't know if you could see when I dropped it out, it was blue, because the yarrow flower is actually white. So when it's steam distilled, it actually creates a natural chemical compound called chemazoline. And chemazoline is blue. It's the same chemazoline compound that you'll see in something like blue tansy. If you've ever seen some of the other oils, blue tansy also is blue because of the high amount of chemazoline that's in it. So I'm going to give you some resources now, and then we'll finish up. So first of all, I want to give you this wonderful recipe. So this is a DIY for our whipped body butter. So if you want to make something recipe yourself, I'm going to give you this recipe here. You can customize it based on your skin type. It has great reviews, makes some fantastic gifts. So if you want to make this, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is take 2 parts of shea butter. So you'll need to get shea butter, 1 part coconut oil, 1 part liquid carrier oil, and there you can choose jojoba, olive, almond, sesame seed, and you can use any of those. So what you do is, shea butter is hard, and coconut oil can be. So if you get like your coconut oil at Costco or something like that, the raw coconut oil you can get really inexpensively, these big tubs, it'll be hard. So you can melt your shea butter and your coconut oil in a double boiler, remove it from heat, and let it cool for about 30 minutes. So that'll keep it warm enough that it's liquid. If your climate gets hot enough, these things might actually become liquid all by themselves. You won't need to boil it. Like right now, I'm in Southern California right now. I know most of you guys, I think, are in Canada at this point, so it's a little cooler where you are. And I used to live in Ottawa where it was really cold this time of year. But right now I'm in Southern California and everything in our house is liquid because it's really hot. It's been, you know, it's been really hot lately. So everything is liquid. Our coconut oil that is usually a solid is actually a liquid in our kitchen that we use. So if it becomes liquid in the summer because of a warmer climate, that's fine. Then you won't have to boil it, right? Because it becomes liquid. You can stir in your liquid carrier oil and then add enough essential oils to your liking. So when it starts to partially solidify, you use a stand mixer or a lot of elbow grease, right, to whip it into a butter-like consistency. So you want to do this obviously before it hardens all the way. So you get it into a butter-like consistency, and then you can spoon it into a glass jar so that you can use it. And so there you get to pick whatever oils you want. So these are the oils that we've talked about. You pick which ones do you want to put on your body to help your skin. So another one that I wanted to talk about, now I'm going to talk about some of the products that doTERRA has very briefly for your skin, because doTERRA's already created some of these. And if you're on my team, you already know this, but there is an app that I give to all my team members in doTERRA. And if you're not on my team or if you're not in doTERRA yet, just ask me about this. If you're not, you know, if you're thinking about getting into doTERRA, I can send you over, you know, this app. But I have a recipe here for a cellulite eraser cream. So I want you to see what this app looks like. So when you go into the app, you can look up different things. And this is something I looked up. It's a cellulite eraser cream. That makes sense, right? So I was just looking at skin and I was looking for recipes. This recipe has 199 upvotes. That means it's very popular. People like it. And this is a user-driven app. So this has tons and tons of recipes, but the recipes that us as essential oil users have come up with ourselves. We've tried them out, we've shared them with others, and these are the ones that people like the best. So if you ever want any of those, you know, ask me about that. Ask me about those different recipes that you can get. So now lastly, I just want to talk a little bit about, I'm done with this. I'm going to come back to you because I want to talk a little bit about the products that are available. So first of all, the reason I absolutely love doTERRA stuff is all their ingredients are found in nature. So you have natural versions of things, you have synthetic versions of things. You can get lavender and you can make lavender out of synthetic chemicals. You can use synthetic vinyl acetate, other synthetics. You can make something that smells just like lavender. Ideally, if you want it to have the benefits and work the way, you know, work with the human body most effectively, you want to get it 100% from nature. And that just makes sense because plants and nature work with our bodies because we are also carbon-based organisms, right? And if you want something that's synthetic, then use it on your computer, right? So we want to have the natural versions of things. Natural and synthetic versions do act differently in the human body. Even though they are exactly the same molecule, there are other parts, not just the molecule, but there's other things involved that make them work differently. So that's why you don't see something like, you don't see a perfectly synthetic colostrum. We can't do it because we can't reproduce those things because nature is who made them. So when doTERRA sources out their ingredients, they look for things that are found in nature. And because our skin is our largest organ and is absorbing about 70% of everything we put on the skin is absorbed into our body. So whenever you expose your skin to something, it's getting in your body. So don't kid yourself. If you're putting something on your skin, it is getting, you might as well eat it. You know, a lot of it is getting in, about 70%. So if you have, let's say you have grease and you've been working and you're getting, you know, synthetic like bike chain grease or something on your hands, it's getting absorbed into your body. And so you want to prevent that. And over time, those toxic ingredients will break down and they'll thin your skin. And none of us want thin skin when we get old, right? We've all seen really, really, really old people. They have that really, really thin skin. It's scary. I don't want that skin. I want to have my nice thick skin that I'm enjoying right now, right? So doTERRA has different products that they have made out of all these natural ingredients. So a few of the products they have are the HD Clear line, which is really designed for, let's call it kind of that younger person's skin. So, you know, the acne age, that kind of thing, teenagers, young adults, they do really well with the HD Clear line to kind of control blemishes and control the sebum production in their faces. And then they have a regular line. The regular line has a lot of products, and that's a lot of what I use is their regular line. I like their different products. They come in these like silvery white things, and there's quite a few different products there. And then they have their Virage line. Everybody left. Is there anybody left here?
Hello.
Yes, one person's left. Yeah, I can't see anybody. Everybody like disappeared. It was so weird. So I want to talk just a little bit about this. So they have the reveal system, and I took a picture of this because I'm out of mine right now. And this system is a really good system. It's a two-part system to use on your face. Hydrating cream and brightening gel. We do better with these as we get older, especially if you want to keep moisture in your skin. I love those. And then they have some just for your eyes. They have an eye cream and a lot of different actual products that are already made up for us that have the essential oils in it, but also have other ingredients that help support our healthy skin. And then I'm going to give you a few tips before you go. It looks like a couple of people ditched me, or I can't see you guys anymore. It looks like nobody's here except me, but I hear somebody, so somebody is here. But some of the tips are: let your skin breathe. So less makeup, better. Let your skin breathe as much as you can. Make sure you wash your face. If you are out during the day and you're exposed to a lot of things, wash your face before you go to bed at night, and earlier the better. So if you come into your home and your home is a cleaner space than where you've been, then wash your face. If you're out somewhere and you're getting exposed to a bunch of chemicals and stuff, wash your face as quickly as you can, because you want to get those things off your skin. Always wash your face with really gentle products. You do not need to use these scrubs. It's just insane. I see some of the things my daughters buy, and they buy these harsh scrubs. I'm like, you're just causing more problems. And then they complain that they're getting acne. Like, because you're scrubbing your face, you're damaging your skin and letting the acne take hold there, because you'll get bacteria, right? That's what happens when we cut ourselves, basically, which is what they're doing. And then another really good tip is to change your pillowcase twice a week. That will actually have a lot to do with protecting your face and making your face look the best it can, because your pillowcase gets very dirty very fast. And the oils that come off our bodies, and you've heard about all the stuff that comes off our bodies at night, right? We want to wash those pillowcases often. So buy extra pillowcases, replace them often, so that you are sleeping on a nice, clean surface, clean as can be. And then when you're using any beauty care products, be consistent. That way you know if it's working, because if something's not working, you definitely don't want to buy it. So use it regularly so that you know if it is working or not. So hopefully this was helpful. Some people ditched when I started talking about products. I'm not trying to sell you anything. That's not my goal here. I am trying to educate. If you want anything, you'll reach out to me, because you're human. You know where to reach out to if you want things at sale prices or wholesale. If you already have a wholesale account with doTERRA, you can buy these things from your own wholesale account. If you don't have a wholesale account, then reach out to me and we'll figure out if you need one or not. Any questions?
Hi, Ginny.
Hi.
It's Corey.
Corey, hey.
So that was great. I heard the whole thing, and I think I might try those Virage products.
Yeah, the Virage ones are more of the specialty line. They are more expensive. I've used them, and they are absolutely wonderful. They're very well made. They're very high in a lot of frankincense, I noticed, which was good. So it's got some of the more expensive oils in it, rather than like, this is the basic line. And although I do like some of these, because they have a hydrating cream, they also have an anti-aging cream, which I really like. So if you want to use something to protect, especially if you want to protect your face, but the Virage line is really designed for that more mature skin.
Yeah, like I'm 66, and yeah, I get compliments on my skin, but even more now that I use doTERRA on it, and so yeah, I'm very pleased.
Yeah, well, when you use natural products, I think that vibrancy shows through, because people always compliment me on my skin too, and I'm always surprised, because I look at myself and I go, well, but I have freckles and I have imperfections and stuff like that, and I said, but I glow. So I guess I've done the right thing by my skin. And part of it might be that I just, I've never been much to use makeup or anything like that. I don't use a lot of that kind of stuff. So I don't like foundation. I've never liked foundation. So I don't like block my skin. My skin breathes very well, because I'm not, layering stuff on it. And I use the essential oils really regularly. And I think that really shows as we get older. And it's important. We want to look good as we go through our 50s, 60s, 70s, right? We're not going to stop it completely. Obviously, we're going to keep wrinkling and getting older. But if we can slow down the process so that we look, again, we want to look young on the outside, because we still feel young on the inside.
Yeah, no, I just love the products. I don't necessarily always wash, especially now with COVID. I sometimes tend to not wash my face as often as I should. I use like honey and maple syrup masks every day or two in the morning, and I guess that kind of cleanses the skin and puts antioxidants in it and
That
so
makes
forth.
sense. Honey's a good one. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've even done, like, I've done avocado because we grow avocados where I am. So I
That's
extra
so
ones,
cool.
and when the dogs bring them in and they've been all chewed up, I'm certainly not going to eat it.
Oh,
I'll take that and I'll just like wipe it all over my face, and then I'll wash it off like 10 minutes later. It
no,
leaves
it's
this
wonderful.
residue that's just
That's so cool.
amazing.
Yeah, that's great. But like, for example, I went for a walk today and I've come home and I don't have any makeup on at all. I'm not going out anywhere because of COVID.
Right.
And I wasn't even going to wash my face tonight. I put some of those like rose oil and jasmine oil and the Immortelle and the beautiful oil from doTERRA. I put that on with the roller, the roll-on. And they're lovely, but I guess I have to remember to also wash my face. Not that I don't when I shower.
Yeah, you should wash your face, and it doesn't have to be anything. I mean, you don't even have to use a cleanser a lot of times. If you haven't been, a lot of places or anything like that, you just want to do basic washing. But kind of like we've been told with our hands, if you want to get bacteria and viral matter off of your skin, what they said, 20 minutes of water, right? That's all it really takes. Same thing with your face. You don't have to use product every time you wash your face, because it can get harsh. Even mild products can get harsh on your skin.
Yes.
So a lot of times I'll just wash my face. And what I do is I wash with kind of warm water, and then I'll splash it with cold water when I'm done.
Yes.
And, just keep splashing it because you're cleaning off stuff that just kind of is there.
Yeah, so I'll do that tonight, and I probably wouldn't have done it otherwise, but my skin has looked good. I've gotten several of the doTERRA roll-on products, like the rose roll-on with fractionated coconut oil, I guess it is,
Yep.
right?
I use that a lot. I have that.
Yeah.
I use it a lot.
And what I do is I even have one at my desk, and so if I'm just sitting there, thinking about what I'm going to do next, I see the fractionated rose oil with coconut oil, and I'll put that on my upper lip, and it's
same thing I do. Yeah. Our problem areas. I do the same thing. My routine is kind of like I take the rose and I'll like a little bit right here, a little bit right here, across my upper lip, and then down the two sides.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. And then I got their special.
I'll just kind of rub it into my neck.
Yes, that's what I do. I put it like in my neck as well. And also that particular package that had the 5 different oils. I think it was jasmine, rose,
yes,
tansy or something.
Blue Lotus.
I got Blue Lotus. Yes, neroli, and was the 5th one Yanglang or something else. There was neroli.
Magnolia. So Magnolia was the one.
That was it. Yeah, and so I got those, and they're smaller bottles, and I kind of I looked them all up as far as their benefits for skin, and my impression is that they're all just basically great for skin.
Oh yeah, because they're all the more expensive, fancy floral oils, which are all designed for the skin, and they've been used for centuries. They've been used for
I absolutely love them. And I know that they are pure. I mean, I go to Nature's Emporium here in Toronto, Aurora, and they have some lovely lines of oils, but they're a lot cheaper, and they probably have additives in them, right?
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to go there. Why bother going to all the trouble if you're not going to at least pay for high quality products, right?
Yeah, and that's where you always wonder, and I know people think they're saving money by buying these things, but they really aren't, because they're not getting it. Well, it's kind of like, I always try to explain to people, I say, it's like if you want orange juice, you're like, I need some vitamin C, I'm going to get my orange juice. And you go to the store and then you buy Sunny D. You're not getting what your body needs.
No, I totally hear you. Now, another oil that I was looking at, it's so expensive. It's Melissa. And I'm thinking, okay, it's even more expensive than the rose oil. And I'm thinking, okay, what is Melissa? Have you used it?
I have used that. And my mom actually just got some recently.